you come home, I'm gonna put you in a better position. Nigga, for you to go Rick Ross, that's a slap in the face.
You know what's crazy? People are always in my fucking business, worried about what I'm doing, what Floyd is doing, what Floyd ain't doing, what I do got, what I don't got. Just know, I'm gonna stay in my lane. I ain't gonna fuck with nobody, and I don't want nobody fucking with me. If I go on vacation, my fault.
Floyd Mayweather just fired off some serious warning shots at Charleston White, telling him to step away from all the Big Meech drama or face the heat. But Charleston, he's not backing down one bit. He says he's not about to beg anyone just for speaking his truth. Since getting out of jail, Charleston's been hitting up every interview spot he can find, and during one of those sit-downs, he gave his raw take on the whole mess between Big Meech and 50 Cent. And let's just say it stirred up a whole lot of noise. Now, Charleston did admit there's no solid evidence that Big Meech ever snitched on anyone, but then he flipped it and said 50 Cent had every right to snap, because Big Meech and his son linked up with folks that were straight up enemies of 50. And guess who's one of those so-called ops? None other than Floyd Mayweather himself. Well, Floyd clearly didn't take that lightly. Word on the street is if he ever crosses paths with Charleston, it's going down right then and there. No talking, just action. So now the question is, what's Floyd's real play here? Is he genuinely looking out for Big Meech and his people, or is he just throwing shade at 50 Cent to stir the pot even more? The tension's sky high, and we're about to pour every drop of this tea.
This be a perfect example on you gotta be very careful on who you bring in and who you put on. That's Little Meech right there. And if you don't know, he's the son of Big Meech. And if you don't know who that is, well, Big Meech was one of the biggest drug dealers in Detroit, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, long story short, he went in jail. He came out of jail and he started linking up with 50 Cent's ops. Now, bear in mind, 50 Cent made BMF and put Little Meech on BMF without any acting.
This Big Meech drama is spinning out of control, and it's dragging in some big names while it's at it. The latest two locked into this firestorm, Floyd Mayweather and Charleston White, and the mess? Whew, it's on a whole different level. In that recent interview, Charleston laid it all out. He spoke on the bad blood between Big Meech, his son Lil Meech, and 50 Cent, and he didn't hold back. According to Charleston, he ain't buying 50's claim that Big Meech is a snitch because there ain't been any paperwork shown to back that up. Charleston didn't hold back. He came straight for the folks accusing Big Meech of using Tammy Cowan to set up Cuffy and the crew. He said people out here just talking reckless without doing real research. Stop spreading rumors if you ain't got facts, he snapped.
Do your research, you find out that there's no paperwork on Big Meech. So if you go do your research, you find out that there's no paperwork on Big Meech. That's why you hadn't seen no paperwork. It's all hearsay. Somebody saying he told, or somebody saying he used Tammy Cowan's to set up Cuffy. Well, when you do your research and you look at the court documents that's on Big Meech, you see that Tammy Cowans took the stand and said that she did this on her own accord without Big Meech's knowledge.
Then he switched gears and threw his full support behind 50 Cent while calling out Big Meech and Lil Meech big time. According to Charleston, 50 had Big Meech's back when nobody else did, not even Rick Ross. He reminded everyone that 50 cleaned Lil Meech up, paid for his acting school, gave him a shot in BMF, and stacked his pockets with millions. All while Big Meech was locked up. That's real loyalty. Charleston straight up said 50 Cent stepped into that father role for Lil Meech, so of course he'd be heated watching them turn around and team up with folks he can't stand. Charleston even called Big Meech linking with Rick Ross a slap in the face. He said Big Meech and his son had it coming, and whatever 50 throws back at them now, they earned it.
Looking at it from 50 position. I go get your son. And at the time when I meet your son, he's not making the best decisions in life. You know, they say he was strung out on them perks. They like to pop them perks. 50 take him somewhat I wouldn't say clean him up, but spend 2 years in acting classes that 50 paid for. It was hard finding somebody to play the role of Big Meech, so we picked your son. 50, according to 50, he's put over $5 million into the pockets of Lil Meech and the family's, financially over $5 million. He's helped them make. It blew your son up, and we bring you back to life. Prior to the BMF series, Big Meech was buried alive. Wasn't nobody saying his name. Jeezy wasn't really shouting him out no more. He was buried alive. So 50 bring life back to him, put his son in a position, turn his son into a millionaire, and he actually turned out to be a pretty good actor.
Let's not forget how this whole thing started. Big Meech reportedly hit up Rick Ross for some quick cash after getting out of prison. And none of that would have even gone down if Lil Meech hadn't fumbled the bag. 50 stacked his wallet, gave him opportunity after opportunity, and still ended up feeling played. So what did 50 do? He aired it all out and claimed Big Meech was a snitch. That's when Lil Meech slid into 50's DMs trying to cool things down. He was emotional, telling 50 that Big Meech only linked up with Rick Ross because he was desperate for money. Lil Meech messaged him like, and they just told me you unfollowed me on Instagram and now you managing Skill Abba. I introduced you to him when you didn't even know who he was. Now you mad at me? I would have taken the shirt off my back for you. I can't believe this, man. You're treating me like I'm your enemy. I've only ever shown you love and loyalty. I'm human. I've got my own problems, but I never turned on you, F. Ross. He gave my dad some bread so he could handle his bills until the next season kicks off. This internet stuff got me all messed up, man. You know me. That's what Lil Meech said, clearly trying to patch things up with 50. But 50? He wasn't having it. No sympathy, no forgiveness. Instead, he pulled a move nobody saw coming. He announced the cancellation of the BMF series. That's right, 50 completely cut off Lil Meech's cash flow just like that. Fans went wild. Some were saying Lil Meech did the right thing by apologizing, but others felt like he should have stood 10 toes down and defended his dad instead of folding. And Boozy? Oh, he definitely had something to say. He didn't hold back at all. But no matter how you spin it, one thing's for sure, 50 putting the brakes on BMF is a major blow to Lil Meech's pockets. Let's not forget, it was 50 who gave him the platform, the exposure, the bag. Without that, Lil Meech might be feeling that pressure real quick. Now you'd think that after getting hit that hard, Big Meech and Lil Meech would try to sit down with 50 and work things out. Maybe ask for a second chance, but nope. They doubled down and chose sides. Instead of peace talks, they started linking up heavy with more of the 50's known enemies. And at the top of that list, Floyd Mayweather. Lil Meech has been spotted chilling with Floyd more than a few times lately. And not just casual link-ups, we're talking photo shoots, bowling nights at Lucky Strike in Miami, full-on hangouts. He even dropped a flick with Floyd and Rick Ross captioned Real Power. That caption? Oh, that was a straight-up shot at 50, and everyone knew it. He didn't stop there. Lil Meech posted another set of pics with Big Meech and Floyd at some low-key location. And just recently, he dropped a video of him and Floyd sitting courtside at a Lakers game. All smiles. With all that drama still bubbling between them and 50, you can't tell anyone this wasn't a calculated move to throw shade. Everybody knows 50 Cent and Rick Ross have been locked in one of the nastiest rap beefs for years. It all kicked off over something petty. Rick Ross claimed 50 gave him a shady look backstage once, and from that moment, it was all-out war. Diss tracks flew, interviews turned toxic, and the insults got real personal. 50 never misses a shot to clown Rick Ross, always throwing him back to his Officer Ricky days. He's made it clear he thinks Ross is faking the whole gangster image, calling him out for being a former correctional officer. In a 2015 interview with Tim Westwood, 50 flat out labeled Ross a fraud.
That is desperation at the points that you hear things from him at this point. Because if you're looking for someone, it ain't that hard to find me. I'm around. And I'm not used to having an altercation with law enforcement. I'm just not used to saying I'm going to do something to a correctional officer or to a police officer or anyone who's been under oath that's going to say with no problem everything that you've said and everything that's happened immediately after.
And that wasn't the end of it. 50 also went on record saying Rick Ross is completely irrelevant. According to him, there's zero respect for Ross's career. Period. Rick Ross didn't stay quiet either. He fired right back, saying 50 Cent's just a bitter big guy who talks too much. Even when he tried to play it cool with that "we don't take this personal" vibe, it was clear he can't stand 50 either.
I took a picture with Rick Ross. You like a hoe. Put your back against the wall and just slide down.
You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal. Get your money. You don't know these don't know you. And for anybody going against Ricky Rose, let me have this. I've been putting my foot up you since for the last 15 years. Everything you touch crumble. Why you think Rose on top? We don't take this shit.
Now, when it comes to Rick Ross, you can kind of see why they're beefing. But with Floyd Mayweather, that's where things take a wild turn. It's honestly shocking how much they hate each other now because they used to be brothers, like tight for real. Back in the day, 50 and Floyd were always side by side. They hit red carpets together, made public appearances, and even posed on the cover of XXL magazine like a power duo. Their bond looked unbreakable. But in 2012, things flipped fast. Floyd got convicted on a DV charge and had to serve time for a few months. While he was locked up, he asked 50 to hold it down and manage his companies, TMT, the Money Team, and Mayweather Promotions. 50 agreed, thinking it'd be a simple favor between friends. But once he got into it, he realized it was a whole mess. The companies weren't even properly registered, so 50 had to start from scratch. And let's just say he wasn't feeling it. That business chaos lit the fuse that exploded their friendship, and from then on, it was smoke every time they saw each other. After 50 Cent dropped a whole $1 million trying to clean up Floyd's mess, things went sideways real fast. When Floyd got out of jail, he didn't match 50's investment, didn't even offer to pay him back. Instead, he flipped the script, accusing 50 of trying to snatch his company right out from under him. And while Floyd was out here running a full-blown smear campaign, 50 and his crew were busy trying to get him back on track with a "let's get Floyd back in pocket" movement. Kind of like the same fundraiser vibe Rick Ross once pitched for Big Meech.
To jail, he asked me to help him with Mayweather promotion. Right. Then as he actually got in and I took a look, I realized there is no Mayweather promotion. There's no LLC, there's no seal, it's not incorporated. It's just a name. Yeah, that's just a name. Right. See, technically, Floyd is a Golden Boy fighter. See what I'm saying? He fights on every Golden Boy card. They do all the footwork.
Like the negotiations and the imprint, the paperwork.
They build the whole show. So when he says helping with Mayweather Promotions and it's not there, I go, okay, I know what he means. He wants me to
get it together.
Put it together. So I do TNT Promotions. I get it all the way together. Sign the actual fighters. We had acquisition of Gamboa. It's like I had a negotiated release. It was $4.2 million. Andre Durrell, IBF champion Billy Dip, WBA champion Celestino Calabero. So we brought them over. I brought him over while Floyd was, incarcerated. Then he comes home. There's the Let's Get Floyd Back in Pocket campaign.
Now everyone knows 50 takes loyalty very seriously. So when Floyd started throwing dirt on his name, 50 wasn't just gonna sit there quiet, but when he finally clapped back, the media made him look like the villain. That's when Floyd turned all the way up, calling 50 a male boxing groupie with a washed-up music career. They tried to front like everything was cool for a hot minute, telling the press they made up and were boys again. But that peace didn't last at all. Things spiraled fast, and soon they were back at each other's throats. Floyd started clowning 50 over his messy relationship with his son Marquise, while 50 went low, putting Floyd on blast for messing around with his best friend's girl. And then it got dark. 50 accused Floyd of being connected to the heartbreaking case of Earl Hayes and his wife Jessica. He said, "Tell everybody why you was on FaceTime." When he did that to Jessica and himself, he was confronting you about messing with his wife.
I looked at the computer say, Floyd said, yeah, Nelly 50. I'm like, what did he say me for? Nelly your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fiance, said that.
Just when folks thought 50 might let it go, he came for the kill. He dared Floyd to read a single page from Harry Potter, promising to donate $750,000 to any charity Floyd picked if he could pull it off.
This is a special ASLELS challenge for you, Floyd. If you can read one full page of a Harry Potter book, nigga, I'll give $750,000 to whatever charitable organization you want to. The bucket of ice, man.
Floyd didn't stay quiet. He fired back by flexing hard, dropping pics of checks worth over $72 million, basically saying, I don't need to play these games. But still, those can't read rumors stuck to him like glue. To save face, Floyd came right back at 50, challenging him to settle it like real men in the boxing ring. People thought the Floyd versus 50 Cent fight would actually happen back in 2014, but nope, it never went down. Then in 2018, Floyd made another bold move that had folks shook. He invited Tara Mari, the same woman who was suing 50 over that revenge clip scandal, to perform at his nightclub. That was pure disrespect, and it was the final nail in the coffin for their so-called friendship. Floyd didn't stop there. He took things to a whole new level by posting an open letter on Instagram, going off on 50. He called him a snitch, dragged him for having a flopped rap career, and painted him as a bitter, jealous man who couldn't even keep things solid with his own son. That IG post, it was scorching. Any scraps of brotherhood they once had, gone. So when Big Meech and Lil Meech started popping up in photos all cozy with Floyd, 50 wasn't gonna let that slide. He took it personal, and he fired right back with his own shots, loaded and ready. In one post, 50 shared a video of Lil Meech talking to Rick Ross, cracking a joke that they were plotting for Rose to send Big Meech some chicken wings from his Wingstop spot. Then he shaded Lil Meech's acting game, comparing it to Michael Rainey Jr., the star of 50's hit show Power Book 2, Ghost. Michael had just bagged an NAACP award, and 50 made sure to shine that spotlight real bright just to throw shade at Lil Meech. It didn't stop there. 50 posted an AI-edited clip clowning Lil Meech, making it seem like he was saying he tried to show him luxury. But Lil Meech was too focused on following his dad's path in the streets.
I'm gonna think about the next time you on stage waving signs, trying to be like the only daddy you got. I understand you want to keep his name alive, but youngin', I'm trying to save you from your demise. You said it yourself. My pops was a real youngin', that ain't no lie. He was in the business that the system perpetuates on the side to keep us in the condition that we ain't made to survive. But you think he a god? Well, let me ask you this. Would you kill a world and save yourself? Yeah, I didn't think that was wise. Something to think about the next time y'all thuggin', drinking and drugging, hard liquor y'all full of killers. Remember, hold up, I tried to give you the large picture. Hold up, man. He gonna get this work. He gonna get this work. Hold up. Keep going, keep going. Hold on. He gonna get this work. I tried to give him the large picture. Yo, pops wasn't no gangster.
At first glance, it looked harsh. Like, why is 50 going after Lil Meech with that much heat when the real issue was with Big Meech? But then, when Boozy called him out for going too hard on the son, 50 finally explained himself. He said straight up, I did more for Meech than anyone in his life. That's the kind of betrayal that cuts deep, and 50's not the type to keep quiet about it. Boozy asked the question, and that's why 50 clapped back so hard. He said straight up, if Meech ever got locked up, I was the first person he called. I bailed him out every single time. But what really made 50 snap? Seeing Lil Meech laughing at that post his dad made, that's when he realized, oh, he a snake too. He right where he belongs, with his pops. In another post, 50 spilled more tea, talking about how deep he really went for Lil Meech behind the scenes. He said he got the kid into rehab and schooled him on how to stop blowing through money like it grows on trees. I thought about it. I think he felt uncomfortable with me being close to Big Meech. 50 said, I'm telling Meech to slow down and stop spending. Meanwhile, his pop's telling him about wild stuff he used to do, like it's something to brag about. 50 kept it all the way real. Nobody even knows I had to send him to rehab, he revealed. Actor Russell Hornsby even noticed something was off. He saw Lil Meech looking completely gone on set, said he started throwing up during a weapons training session. That's when Ian checked his truck and found a bunch of whippets stashed. 50 was like, what even is a whippet? Turns out it's the gas from BB guns that people inhale to get high. 50 was stunned, like, this is what we're doing now? So after everything 50 did, putting Lil Meech in position, giving him real guidance, cleaning up behind the scenes, the least he expected was some loyalty, not photos with his enemies posted all over social media like they're besties. That's what really cut deep. It wasn't just the betrayal, it was the disrespect in public for the whole world to see. And according to Charleston White, this right here was Big Meech's biggest mistake. Not just the link up with Rick Ross, but going online to post the footage and drop a video denying the snitching rumors. All of that? Yeah, that just made things worse.
Meech's biggest mistake was getting on camera with Rick Ross, running to the internet. Rick Ross was wrong for putting Big Meech out there knowing he doing bidding with 50. Rick Ross using Meech. Rick Ross using him, homie, knowing that there's a beef between me and this guy. So to do this video and then put it out there was a slap in the face to 50. And I done put everybody in position. Now, I'm with 50. While you were gone, Rick Ross didn't reach out to your son. Try to put him in his position where he can make $5 million. Did nobody reach out to you? Rick Ross didn't give you no money off using your name, your likeness or whatever in that song. He didn't give you no kickbacks for that. So if he really fucking with you, he could have put the concert on without putting you in the mix. But they playing tit for tat. So 50 ain't wrong.
Even if there was a tiny chance for 50 Cent to squash the Rick Ross beef and keep the BMF series going strong, that hope got crushed when Lil Meech and his pops decided to roll with Floyd Mayweather. That move, it shut the door for good. There's no coming back from that level of disrespect. And let's be real, Floyd knows exactly what he's doing. He ain't clueless about the drama between Big Meech and 50. In fact, it looks like he's using the father-son duo like chess pieces in his own personal war with 50. He's out for revenge and nothing's off limits. Word on the street is Floyd's so locked in on hurting 50's legacy that he's willing to bulldoze anyone who gets in the way, including Charleston White. Yep, you heard that right. Floyd is allegedly moving behind the scenes trying to get Charleston thrown back behind bars. If that's true, that's next level petty and power play madness. But the question still stands. Do you think Floyd really wants to help Big Meech and Lil Meech win? Or is he just dragging them into a bigger plan to mess with 50 Cent? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear everything. Do you think this alliance is real or is it just more celebrity chess? And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more wild stories and industry drama. We've got way more tea on the way, so don't miss it. See you on the next one.